I'm about to feed them to the sharks right now. Get them hype right now. Yeah. You know the ground is up. Yeah. Everybody that trains, you know the game. Yeah. So let's get it. Slap it up, bump it, and roll. Hey. Yeah, that's the way that it goes. Ain't no better way to better yourself in this game. You're feeling the growth. That's time on the mat. We put in the work. Believe it ain't easy, I know. But we train for the love of the game, the love of the art. Now slap it up, bump it, let's roll.
Welcome to episode 43 of the BJJ Campaign Podcast. My name is Jeff Boone. I'm an A3 blue belt, 2 stripes.
Phil Coors, A2, blue belt, 1 stripe.
Well, Philly, we have an article that I posted on our group page, the BJJ Campaign group page.
On Facebook.
It's
a good group. Some memes and things there. And also articles.
But you know what? We encourage the memes, even more so than articles.
Yeah.
Funny memes, preferably.
Sometimes they hit too close to home.
A lot of times. And this one was by James Duscio.
Don't know how to say it.
Duscio.
There you go.
Might be a good Italian boy. Yeah. James Duscio.
There you go.
But it was titled Training in Bad Positions.
I'm an expert. Let me start. I get taken down, they pass my guard. I'm in a bad position.
Very true. Very true. But aside from that, that wasn't really what they were talking about. It was talking about, this guy who wrote it was a black belt. So, obviously, for him, he was saying, start out with the white belts, start in a really bad position, work your way out of that position. Kind of the way I've heard it expressed before is earn your top position rather than just starting there.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And I think it'll help you get more confident in your ability to get out and try different things and then work your way up in levels as that becomes an option, I guess. Work your way up in levels against different people and, kind of get that experience and what works, what doesn't. And then, your armbar defense, say, if you're starting in that armbar position from bottom mount, when they're kind of to the side or whatever, and you're trying to protect your arm and you can work a little bit worse position every time to where you're holding the hands or whatever.
So you're working early and late escapes.
Yeah, just keep trying and seeing different things and seeing. I mean, I think it's better that way too, to see what is too late and what doesn't work. It'll help you figure that out faster than only if you get put in that armbar position once. I mean, for me, it's not all that common of a position.
Yeah, I mean, you got Tyrannosaurus Rex arms. That's why. Yeah. Really short arms.
But
it's a forearm bar for you.
But yeah, that one doesn't come up a lot. Triangles do, though. I mean, triangle defense is very natural to me. I'm always in that. So, but yeah, all those different positions, I think, just get comfortable. Just keep practicing that same spot and.
Yeah, and a lot of this, if your academy does positional rolling, positional drilling, a lot of these things you're going to be put there anyway and work out from that position, that sort of thing, But I think it's always beneficial to keep working those bad positions anytime you can, because, like you said, you don't always get put in that arm bar position. That's, it's kind of infrequent. So if you drill that, and also if you incorporate that into your rolling, and it's pretty easy to do, right? I mean, you give your opponent, or your training partner,
enemy,
and you obviously make them work for that position, right? But steer them towards that position with your input. Like if they're in side control, turn your back, right? Get on your side so that they either step up to try that arm bar or take your back, and you can work the positions from there. Yeah,
that works too. I do that. Was in that, I think, the other day with the kids. Like, I forget. I think it was I think they were doing a half guard pass or something, and I tried to force the same position at the end of class when they had a little bit of sparring. They didn't go for that. They went to what they're more natural with. But yeah, give them the opportunity to present the situation and see if they recognize it, take advantage of it, or whatever. But even if that's not the case, and you're starting even more basic of just saying like, let's just drill the arm bars. Like this is how you're gonna try to finish, and I'm gonna defend. And then I've always liked the positional sparring for everything because it helps me learn a lot to just like I'm gonna make the mistake. I'd rather make 10 mistakes in 5 minutes than make the mistake and then you're in bottom side control and that's it. Because that's like one mistake and you really pay the price versus just trying to fix it repeatedly. And I'm doing that with guard passing now. I work with somebody a lot. 2 or 3 people I work a lot, but I have a main person that I train with all the time. Just me trying to get better at passing the guard, and it's super slow process. And if it wasn't like get down, reset, then I would just basically try to pass the guard, essentially get swept, and then here we are in bottom side control again. Instead of waiting for that time, it's get back up, start again, try to fix how he just swept you.
Yeah, no,
Get swept a different way.
Yeah, exactly. The other way. And going back to the kids class, whenever they were, you were putting them in half guard, it was probably because of the terrible instruction that they received with that half guard pass. I was the one who showed that day.
Yeah. It wasn't that one. I think it was.
Oh, was it?
No, you know what it was? It was the bread cutter, paper cutter, or whatever from when you have the arm trapped underneath.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
The gi choke across. It was that position. I was trying to force my arm through to see if they were going to grab underneath, and they didn't. But
sure,
that one was a little harder, and I don't know how many times everybody's seen that. I can't remember who it was that did it, but that one was a little more advanced, I think, for the kids that I was messing with, just to see if they would recognize it. But
sure,
yeah, no, that was that when you did the half guard instruction, yeah, yikes.
Hey, listen, we'll all get better at everything.
It's so hard. Sometimes they'll look at me and be like, you want to show that technique? And be like, I don't know, I need jiu-jitsu. I'm sorry. I'm going to have to pass.
But moving on to another topic that he talked about in the article, and that was, which this is something that all those other things I've done before, right? We regularly train that way.
Yeah.
But this one, I've never done this. Whenever he says step number 2, pre-exhaust roll.
Yeah.
Right.
Intentionally.
Intentionally. So whenever the break's going on, usually there's 30 seconds between rounds, right? Between 5 or 8 minute rounds, 30 seconds. And so he's saying whenever you get a fresh partner, do like lunges, sprawls, burpees, whatever, to pre-exhaust yourself to make sure that you're rolling with technique instead of strength.
Yeah, super interesting idea.
I'm probably not going to do it.
Yeah, I'm kind of right there with you. I get exhausted all by myself. I don't know, just trying to train sometimes. I mean, I think it's a really good idea. I think it might be something to try. Like I don't know, just have to do it and see what happens. Be one way to really improve your cardio, I think.
Yeah, but who needs that? I mean, we're not working on that, are we?
Sort of, yeah. Trying, yeah. But that seems like a terrible way to do it. I was gonna.
No, might as well just run, just like you have been.
Yeah. It's been going good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can tell the difference already. Yeah. I don't know when I would work that in. I'll have to figure it out. I don't know.
It's actually, you don't work it in. It's just
you do
during.
It?
Yeah, you just do it.
Yeah.
No, I hear you.
It's tough.
And I'm right there with you.
It sounds so hard, though.
Probably not going to do it. But I lost my train of thought. I was thinking about
burpees. You ever do those?
They're terrible.
Like with the push-ups and you jump up?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I've been to a CrossFit class. What are you talking about?
You ever do them where you do the push-up and then you jump up and do a pull-up?
I have not. No, I haven't done that.
Hard.
That seems like it'd be way worse.
Yeah.
Than just a regular burpee. I did whenever I was, this was probably a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago, whenever I was trying to lose weight, I did do that 100 burpee challenge in 10 minutes.
Did you?
Yeah. I did.
That's hard.
It was really hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then I was like, nope.
The first 10 aren't that bad.
Oh, I know. The thought just popped back in my head. And that is, you know, I don't know about you, but I didn't always train that way. I didn't always put myself in bad positions, you know, whenever I was first starting.
Intentionally.
Yeah. Correct. That was affirmative. And but I was in plenty of bad positions to start with. But even I feel like even whenever I started to get to where there was new people coming in and I was better than them, I didn't do that for a while, and I regret that. It didn't take me that long to do it, but I would say 3 or 4 months I spent trying to stay in a more dominant position rather than not.
3 or 4 months?
Yeah.
That's a super long time.
I know.
You should feel terrible.
I do feel bad
In
about
the
it.
grand scheme of things,
But that's why I'm saying it, is because if there's somebody out there, a white belt, who's listening and kind of at that juncture in their game where new people are coming in and they're better than them, try to get in bad positions with those new people.
Is it for a white belt though? You think that's
Sure, why not? Why wouldn't it be?
Well, they have all the other belts that are going to be putting them in bad positions anyway.
Okay.
I read this more for...
But they're going to have more success escaping with someone who's not as good as them.
Well, yes.
So then they know how to do it.
Yeah.
And they're refining their technique so that it will actually work on the people who are better than them.
I felt like this applied a lot more to higher belts than us.
I certainly think it does apply more to higher belts.
I think this applies to people who have to... If they don't put themselves there, they're not going to be in a bad position. Yeah. That's who I think this applies to.
And I
think this is just another way of saying, like, train where you're uncomfortable.
Yeah, agreed. But another strategy that you can employ is whenever the upper belts, say like Ryan Legs, you watch and make sure, like if he rolls with 3 or 4 tough people, and then right after that roll and he's got a little exhaustion going, then you go up and when he's sitting down, take his back to start the next roll.
It's a brilliant strategy.
It never works out for me, but it is a good strategy. I will continue to do it.
Smart. It's resulted in a lot of successful rolls. So he usually takes it easy after that.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess I do tend to agree with you, but I do think it's beneficial for people who are in that position to do that and put themselves in bad positions.
I just took it more. I took it more for people who, have a choice, and if the role is going to go, 99% of the time, if they're the highest or one of the highest skill level people in the room, that they're not going to be in a bad position. It's like, don't forget to train those things, because that there is always the person who's going to be better than you, and you need to stay sharp and get better at it for that reason.
Sure. But,
at my experience of white belt, and still to this day, is most of my time is in the worst position. So like, it's, I make the joke when you first bring it up, but yeah, I'm always training bad positions because I'm trying really hard not to be in them.
Yeah.
But the specific training is very valuable at the same time, defending arm bars, defending triangles and whatnot. But,
Yeah, and hopefully, if your academy, I'm sure most everybody does positional training, right?
I would assume, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Do more. That's what I say.
Sounds good.
So, Philly, moving on to the next topic. What are you working on right now?
Scissor sweep, flower sweep, pendulum a little bit. Like if I can see that, I'd like to attempt it. It's another thing I've just never really tried to do.
Haven't you been working on that since last Thanksgiving?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's the same couple of sweeps. I've started naming them. It makes it feel like progress. I've named a couple of them now.
So you didn't actually start working on it. You started thinking about working on them.
I was planning on doing it. Yeah.
Planning on doing it.
Sort of like.
Just didn't fit in your schedule till.
Yeah.
A couple weeks ago.
There wasn't a good time.
Till after your competition.
Had other things going on. Yeah. like I've been saying I'm gonna do it. It's a lot harder to do when people are like, "You're not gonna do that sweep right now." I'm like, guess not.
And we took a private lesson with John last week
Mm-hmm.
to go over that, which was a lot of fun.
We fixed one detail, and it was my scissor sweep.
Mm-hmm.
The joke was it was my entire sweep.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Yeah. No, I got the joke,
Okay.
but it
You
really
forgot
really wasn't a joke. It was really just a accurate statement.
You agreed way too strongly for
Yeah.
It's terrible. It's real bad. It's real bad. I have found though that the secret to getting better at it is to try it
Try it. Yeah.
and do it. Yeah,
Any success so far?
a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Amazing how that works, isn't it?
it's crazy.
Yeah.
One day it might be all right, one step at a time. But sweeping and passing the guard with the knee cut pass, and again, I come in with a question about how to pass the guard, and the answer is, we're going over that tonight. Like, just the fundamental classes are covering all the questions I have. I don't know if it's just because that's what I'm looking for lately. Like, it's just getting that foundation in multiple positions figured out to where I can at least get to where I want to get to, and then expand from there. But everything seems to just kind of keep coming back to the same whatever. I have no idea how many there are fundamental techniques. Everything kind of keeps going back to that. It's never an elaborate answer. It's where's your elbow? Where's your base? It's always the same couple questions.
Yeah. No, absolutely right. So yeah, and you picked up a key detail on that knee cut pass.
Yeah, my elbows.
Yeah.
Just paying attention to where it is. But
You always think your elbows are in. You always think your head's up.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, though, that one, though, I wasn't thinking that,
You were okay.
Like that on that pass, I couldn't see why the knee was coming in. But going back to what we were talking about last week, I, record myself on Sunday, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then as I'm doing the guard passing drills, I can see, number one, I hesitate a lot. Like I may get the better entry step, I may get the advantage for a second, but then as I'm like reassessing the situation, which is just always how I've been, so that's just going to be something I do until I don't know, figure out not to, but I pause a lot and I try to assess and then make a decision and move forward, so when I hesitate, people re-guard, reposition, get better grips, whatever, adjust, and it's stopped. So I noticed that just going back to watching portions of it. And then also noticed while it was happening that everybody was putting that knee in. As I'm trying to step in, they adjust, and it's because my elbow's not close to my, knee, hip, whatever, to keep them off.
Just on especially in the half guard position, whenever you're trying to knee cut pass, you're taking the right knee and have the grip on the lapel and have your right elbow right outside connected to your knee.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just clarification.
Yeah. Mine was coming up when I'm standing, more of an open guard scenario, but it was the same in the closed guard that we were doing that night. And it's just funny to me now that the more I learn about it, the more all my questions are being answered by the same fundamental class. And it makes me laugh, but yeah, it's all the stuff I've already seen 10 times, but all the details that I've never picked up, and kind of I feel like I keep saying that all the time recently, but
I mean, I think it all goes back to being ready to hear those details, right? I mean, you see it 10 times, you do it, and we drill hard whenever we're doing those fundamental movements and try to make sure that we get those details, but sometimes we're just not ready to hear it, and sometimes it's just you're ready to hear that other detail.
Yeah, and that was, that the knee cut thing really put into my head to look for it, where my elbow is, and when people get there, to fight for that space. I wasn't doing that before. I was trying to, again, like I think it's super common, especially with myself, I don't always I look to how to fix the problem, right? Like I'm like, how do I get rid of this knee that's on my, like it's in my way, versus how do I stop them from putting their knee in the first place? So I don't ask the right question.
We should start thinking about that more because I do the same thing. Like,
Yeah.
how do you not get there in the first place?
Right. You should pay attention.
Right.
Pay better attention. But yeah, you know, so, but I think the videoing helped with that a lot. And I think that, I mean, just really kind of focusing. I think we're close to like 30 minutes on the scissor sweep. You know,
Yeah.
if you asked me 2 months ago, how do I feel about the scissor sweep? I would have said, you know, I don't do it a lot, but pretty good. You know, that's what I would have told you.
Delusional.
Right. Like, I was like, yeah, I mean, I can do a scissor sweep. I just choose not to.
Sure, I can show it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
Exactly. That's what I would have told you, guaranteed. Until the situation's like right in front of me, and it's like, go ahead. You know, that everything's.
And me and John are yelling at you when you're in competition. Scissor sweep.
When everything is like riding on it, you know, and it's right there. Are you gonna do it? And the answer is no.
Yeah.
Like, definitely not. So, no, I didn't know the scissor sweep. Thought I did not. So, but you know, it's why I say I like to do the competition is not. Again, losing sucks, but it's worse to just sit there and watch myself not even try than it is to just lose. The guy's better. The guy's better.
Sure.
Whatever. But like you know, again, it's just the same thing, but go back, fix it, and then try it in class, try it after class. And I was telling you, it's not always there, you know, but that's like I'm working on a bunch of different things now. I'm trying to be more aggressive with takedowns, trying to be more aggressive with looking for sweeps if I get the opportunity, and passing the guard. And then, you know, what to do on top. So,
yeah. And, you know, for me, I'm focusing on defense from when someone has my back. Love that position. It's the strongest position, you know, whenever you have it, but whenever somebody has it on you, you know, it's your worst position.
Jeff Little Spoon Boone.
Yeah. And so I've been really focusing on that, making sure that the grips aren't grabbed, just little things, you know, pulling, if someone takes my back, pulling my lapel out of their hand and pulling it to the side and then guarding, you know, just little things to try to refine all the little details behind what you're doing. And also, you know, whenever you do the back escape going towards the underhooked arm, you know, also instead of just being mounted, to make sure to clamp that hand and try to end up on top if you can, you know, I mean, just to try to make it not just escape the position, but better your position, rather than just escape. So that's one of the big things I've been working on. I've been, you know, working on all the fundamental movements. I said it whenever I got my blue belt over a year and a half ago now. That it seems wild, doesn't it? Year and a half.
Is it a year? I don't think it's quite a year and a half. I think you're close.
May, June, July, August, year and 4 months. Yeah, that seems a lot longer than I thought. I thought it'd be better by now. I'm not. But just, I said it to John. I sent him a text message. I'm like, I'm doubling down on the fundamentals, and I really have, and it's helped. It's helped a lot. You know, I still like to go off on my tangents and do the leg lock entries and the stuff, as long as I'm not in a dominant position, to try to get that position, and work on that. And I'm still, you know, working on half guard, because I think it's an interesting position, bottom half guard, that is. I think it's a really interesting attacking position. And so I've been working on that. And actually that kind of segues us into our next topic. And that topic is, you know, we've been doing private lessons the past 2 Fridays with John, and probably going to switch to every other Friday, because you brought up a good point that, you know, you really want to work on those things instead of get more information.
Yeah.
You know, so maybe every other week we'll give you a little bit more time to spend on that. But what I noticed about, you know, Phil's been kind of planning the lessons on what we would do.
We both have the same list.
Yeah, but you look at it and actually plan what you want us to do, thinking about it. And what my thought process is the thought that you're doing is you're like saying, all right, what can we do so I can dismantle Jeff's game?
Yeah.
That's what I believe is happening.
Yeah. Well,
Truth?
it's a little
You're silent.
self-centered. A little self-centered of you.
No, it's not. It's
What have I told you since I started jiu-jitsu? Like the driving factor was for me to get better than you.
yeah, exactly.
It's not been a secret.
I know.
Coming for the neck.
So, folks, you've heard it right here. Phil is admitting to designing our private lessons.
And I'm making him watch the lessons with me. He has to go and participate in the lessons to figure out his game. So
No, but it has been great. I've really enjoyed it. And we've gotten details, a lot more details on, not only the scissor sweep, but doing that whole half guard series with the Gordo series today. And then from top half guard, doing the half guard lapel sweep for whenever
pass.
I'm sorry, sweep pass, half guard lapel pass for whenever your knees caught, whenever you're bringing your foot up to your opponent's or your training partner's hips to try to get to pass the half guard. So that was cool. That was one that I really didn't even know why. I was like, why would I ever do that?
Well, I mean, I grab the lapel a lot of times. I don't think I do it in half guard. I do it in side control because it does feel like if I can get a good grip that I have better control. But that goes back to like, I don't know what I'm doing on top. And that's more of a desperation. I'm just trying to hold on a lot of times.
Okay.
But when he does it, and that's why I was asking about the shoulder pressure. Because like when he puts the shoulder pressure on like that, I can't fight everything. So like my face hurts and it's turned away and I'm trying to hang out with my legs and fight with my arms, and I can only do so much at one time.
Yeah.
And that shoulder pressure seems like a big deal, and I know I'm not good at that. So that's why I was asking questions about that. But and then for other people like who are more, inexperienced, like the Gordo sweep series that we were looking at today, that's not like for me right now. I'm not incorporating that into anything I do anytime soon. But from that and him just watching, John's able to see that my knee shield is trash.
Yeah.
And there's giant holes in it, like from a fundamental standpoint of just like, if my body position stays the way it is, like, look how people are going to drive into it,
Yeah.
And showing how you can adjust your position so that they're fighting not only against you and your bone structure, but then fighting into the floor.
Sure.
So again, I know they can be expensive, but the private lessons you have with people that they're able to take the time and just focus on what you're doing, like, even if it's not something that's going to apply to your, rolling immediately, you can get something that at least you can think about. A giant takeaway for me is like my whole knee shield position was incorrect, like just to start with. So then all the techniques I do from there are going to be, I'm already fighting the uphill battle of poor posture, essentially, so there's always going to be a giant takeaway. I think when you're with somebody who's a high level, if you have the opportunity to take the privates, I really recommend doing it with people who are good. And then they'll fix giant holes in your game. Like, the Gordo sweep was never going to work if my posture started that way. So
Sure.
That, it was cool to see. It's cool to drill. I love learning new jiu-jitsu stuff, even if I can't do it right now. It's always fun.
And two, for those in the audience that say, you know what, I can't really afford private lessons right now. That's valid. I get it. But you can also kind of get a very similar effect if you just ask good questions in class, right? I mean, if you just, I know not everybody does it. And I don't really care. I do actually grab John and say, hey, I'm having a hard time with this. Like, can you look at it whenever he's walking around, whenever we're drilling the move, whenever he comes around that way, I'm like, hey, there's something I'm not getting here, So you can kind of get that little mini private lessons at either asking questions during drilling, after class, during open mat.
Open mat, yeah. I was gonna say.
I mean, those are the best times. That it doesn't have to just be in a private lesson setting. You can get that individualized instruction in that open mat scenario, or whenever you whenever you take breaks between techniques.
Yeah, and I think specifically showing what you're struggling with, and that's, I know John's been asking a lot after sparring, like, what questions do you guys have? Because I'm sure he looks around and sees quite a few things that could be fixed, but, you know, if you're not, like, if it's not even on your mind to ask, it's kind of hard to just give all that instruction all at once. It's impossible. You know,
Sure.
There's so many things that you can fix. It's like, you know, but if you take the initiative, like, this is the problem I'm stuck with, and then you can fix it from there, you know?
Yeah, and you know, like I said, and John's always willing to answer those questions and goes into stuff, and I love it. You know, it's just I'm so brain dead after rolling.
That happens too. Yeah.
I mean, I just don't remember. Like, it's gonna have to be an open mat something, or after I'm done drilling something. I can't think of anything after rolling because I'm, you know, thinking about so much that I might have done wrong. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. You brain dead, yeah. I have to think of it during sparring, whether either John's kind of walking around and makes a comment about something, and I'm like, oh, I need to address that later with him, or if something happens 2 or 3 times, or it's something I've never seen before, where I like make a mental note that, yeah, I need to ask about that and see what I'm supposed to do here. That's kind of the only times. Otherwise, yeah, I'm just brain dead.
Yeah, no. So, you know, if you can afford the private lessons, you know, highly encourage it. Also, another way to kind of defray that cost too is to have one of your partners go, like Phil and I go. I mean, I feel like I get more out of a private lesson whenever you're there because we can drill it on each other instead of just doing it. I don't know if that's actually the case, but I really feel like.
Well, I think we took a similar approach to the Origin camp, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm all about trying to meet new people and expand the horizons, but I'm also going to train selfishly sometimes. And Origin was one of those times where if we did everything together, then we both take our individual notes as we do them or see fit, and we both can revisit things later. You know, if not to say you're not going to meet awesome people at Origin, but it's going to be really hard for me to be like, hey, man, even though you're across the country, can you remind me and show me what we did that day, you know, at camp 6 months ago? It's hard. So selfishly, I wanted to work with you.
Can we Skype each other and maybe you get on the mat, I'll get on the mat, and we'll have our computers next to it?
That'll do it. So that's really hard to do, obviously, if they're not with you all the time. So we had that approach. We do it a lot at seminars while we're trained together. And then, you know, the private lessons, I feel the same way because I also think it gives, ever since Bagels pointed out that third person perspective stuff, and I think I now realize it with the kids a little bit, where I'm standing there that I see things that I didn't even realize I was seeing. That third person view down, you know, you can just see mistakes that it's harder to see when you're just feeling it. Like, you know what people are doing, or they know what people are doing wrong, common mistakes. But I think if you're just looking from the outside, you can see more, you know, and point out different things that he obviously can't do in a one-on-one situation. So,
yeah, I
like
agree.
it a lot.
I agree. I think there's an advantage to having a training partner with your private lessons, and if you can afford them, go out and do it. It's a great value in my opinion.
Yeah.
Last thing, September 7th. What is September 7th, Phil?
Toro Cup 15.
15. That's
all
correct.
Female.
All female card. Woo woo.
Is it the first ever?
It's the first ever all female card. Yeah. They'll probably have like 25, 30 fights.
Well, for the Toro Cup
Matches.
it is, but do you know of other events that do all women?
Well, I mean, there's all women tournaments.
Okay.
But I don't know of any other promotion that's putting on all women super fights, multiple super fights. I have no idea.
Yeah. I
You know what? I'm going to say here, this is the first ever of any kind.
Well, that's the kind of confidence and commitment we were looking for. That's what I was digging for there.
First ever of any kind. And I think it might be in a bigger auditorium this time. Weren't they talking about? Or it might be. I don't know.
No idea.
Yeah, it's just bad information you're getting from BJJ Campaign Podcast.
I know for a fact it's going to be all female. And it's going to be on.
I do know that. And I do know it's September 7th.
I don't know.
I don't know where it is yet.
I would assume it's going to be in the same place.
I think he's going to have another venue.
I think he just needs to knock the wall down and add more bleachers.
Yeah, but then they couldn't have CrossFit.
problem.
Don't say it, Phil. You'll hurt Boomer's feelings. Do not say it.
Okay. But yeah, no, it's going to be exciting. The women's matches are usually so much more active.
I know. They're usually
and
better
most
to
of the
watch.
submissions seem to result in injuries because they just don't ever tap. And I turn away half the time. I'm like, oh, his shoulder's going to break off. I don't want to look anymore.
It's so true.
There was one at that Naga. I thought,
yeah.
I think her name is Lauren, was going to break her arm. And I'm like, okay, I just turn away now.
Not going to watch it.
It's gross.
Yeah. No, it's going to be great. I can't wait. John Shell is the premier sponsor.
Shell Shock BJJ.
Yeah, behind Toro Cup. So kudos to him. And Samantha, Seth, both have been on the podcast before. She'll be competing in that. And she's actually got a fight in Spartica, I think is the fight league. And I think it's August 10th.
That I'm not sure of. I know she has
pretty sure
fight,
all this information I'm giving is inaccurate.
It will be shared on the BJJ campaign Facebook group. That's where you find reliable information. When he's just talking, it's super questionable.
Nah, it always is.
Just check the Facebook page.
No, really looking forward to that. And also, Vernon Kirk is Vernon Captain Kirk. That is,
yes,
is part of Team Hubal Karaoke, and he's going to be competing in the Fight to Win promotion. He's actually I think they had 3 judo matches in it. He's one of the 3 judo matches. He won his match last time, and he got invited back to Fight to Win this time. And I think that one is August 7th. No, 3rd. August 3rd.
August 3rd. Yeah. These dates
and
aren't
I'm really doing terrible today. I don't even care.
Do you know where that one is?
Pittsburgh?
Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
August 3rd in Pittsburgh.
In Pittsburgh. Thank God it's not one.
Will it be Flow Grappling usually does the Fight to Wins, right?
Yeah. Yeah, the last time I watched one was on Flow Grappling.
Okay, yeah.
It's Polaris that's on the UFC fight card.
Okay.
Or Fight Pass, I should say. But yeah, Flow Grappling. So if you have Flow Grappling, watch out for our boy Vernon Captain Kirk. May actually go down and help him prep for that this Sunday. So I'm looking forward to that. And what else? Philly, tell the folks how to support us if they choose to.
BJJCampaignPodcast.com, and then the Facebook group that we've mentioned a couple times. It's gonna light up.
Please go post your meme in the BJJ campaign Facebook group. Please.
Yeah. Jeff he's an active collector, and it would be just easier if they were all posted in the same place.
For sure.
Yeah. We wouldn't have to look around as
click,
much.
Save image. Also, for everybody, if you know somebody who does jiu-jitsu, I'm guessing if you listen to this podcast, unless you're my mother, and hey, shout out to Bunny Boone. Happy birthday today. I'm not going to say how old she is, folks. But if you know someone that does jiu-jitsu, send them a link to our podcast. We're trying to grow this, get the information out there. And also on the BJJ campaign group on Facebook, post anything that you guys want to hear us talk about, jiu-jitsu wise. We don't really know that we'll know anything about it, but that's never stopped us before.
Yeah, we can try. I'll ask somebody else. Get their opinion first.
And if you're not out there doing something to make yourself better each and every day, get out there and do it. Phil and I choose jiu-jitsu. We hope you do too.
I'm about to feed him to the sharks right now. Get him hype right now. Yeah. You know the ground is up. Yeah. Everybody that trains, you know the game. Yeah. So let's get it. Slap it up, bump it, and roll. Hey. Yeah, that's the way that it goes. Ain't no better way to better yourself in this game. You're feeling the growth. That's time on the mat. We put in the work. Believe it ain't easy, I know. But we train for the love of the game, the love of the art. Now slap it up, bump it, let's roll.